Okay. Okay. Synchronizing. All right. Is it live on your side?
It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Yay! Hello everyone, this is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and today we have a special guest, and she is Zoe, and she's going to share with us something that is very important to you because if it's not done well, your whole day will spiral out of control. And she is the founder of Singapore Super Nanny, a baby and adult sleep expert, and author and speaker. Hello, Zoe.
Hello, John. Thanks for having
Hello.
me.
You're welcome. Yes, today you're going to help us to solve a very important problem because I think being a parent myself, and even though I was mentioning that um, we have started to learn how to sleep since we were a baby, but practically we haven't really mastered that yet. Yeah, so probably before you share some tips on how to get better sleep for parents like myself, um, please share with us like your backstory. How did you actually enter this interesting niche?
Okay. Well, I definitely did not dream about becoming a sleep expert. My
Mm-hmm.
dream was to become a lawyer, actually.
Wow. Ooh, lawyer.
Yeah, because I watched too much Hong Kong dramas. Okay. Yeah. So I was actually trained in my background is in accounting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when I became a first time mom to my twins, okay, my whole world turned upside down. Okay. Of course I was feeling very blessed, right? To have twins and they were very cute and very chubby. But yeah, the first few months it was not easy because they were not sleeping well at all. Okay. And yeah, I remember there were so many sleepless nights. One twin would wake up at 2 a.m. and then crying, and then I would pick him up and then feed him. And then it's not like after I pick him up and feed him, he will settle back to sleep. It takes me, hours of rocking some more. And then after that, the other twin wake up, and then it's like, can you imagine? No
Yeah.
sleep whatsoever. Yeah. So I was basically very sleep deprived, very tired and exhausted. And I was also trying to pump, trying to breastfeed them. And yeah, so I felt like a cow 24/7 and just no sleep as well. And until one day, right, I didn't know how much the sleep deprivation was really affecting me because I got into like a shouting match with my mother-in-law because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was, I think what a lot of moms don't know is that when you are very sleep deprived, you tend to, you know be a very different person. You cannot
Mm.
control your emotions so easily, right? And yeah, I would snap at my husband easily. And yeah, so I was basically having baby blues lah. I won't call it postnatal depression, but I think I was having baby blues and I was not really my usual self anymore. And then so one day my neighbor, her name is Vanya, she came to visit me, and then she probably saw my panda looking eyes, and then she asked me to, hey, why don't you explore sleep training? And I was like, oh, what is this sleep training? I really did not know what it meant because I thought, hey, when babies are tired, they will just sleep, right? Why do you need to train them to sleep? But seeing that she's a happy, well-rested mom of two, I was convinced to like, okay, let's do something because I was really desperate already. And yeah, so basically I read a lot and researched a lot, and then with her guidance as well, I implemented what I learned, and then voila, my twins started to sleep well and through the night, you know. And that's when I realized, wow, this is so amazing, right? And then a lot of my friends were also amazed because like twins, and then they can still sleep very well. And then they
Mm-hmm.
started asking me for advice. So this was like, well, 14 years ago, right? Because back in New Zealand. And then when I moved to Singapore, like about 9 years ago, I moved to Singapore. Okay. And then I was pregnant with my number three then. And after I gave birth to him, I also know what to do with him, right? With his sleep and all. And I also started blogging about my sleep training journey. And then other tired and sleep deprived parents found my blog, which is actually I still have that blog right now, but I just haven't maintained it much. It's on Blogspot. And so other tired sleep deprived parents found my blog, and then they started asking me, hey, do you do consulting and all that? And then I say, yeah, I do. Like that was like my first time, right? But I just remember going to this first client. I have nothing, I just have like a few pieces of papers and that's it. But now I have a proper 5-step system. Yeah. But yeah, I always remember her being my first client, but I just share with her what I know, right? And then and it worked for her as well. And so yeah, that's how my business just started like that. This was like 7 years ago.
Wow, wow. It sounds like it started off because you face a challenge of not getting enough sleep.
Hmm.
Okay, there are a few questions that I want to ask you because when I hear that you want to talk about sleep, something very close to me because I simply do not have enough quality sleep and I can't sleep well. So probably I think this is a session meant for parents like myself. Yeah, okay. Before we move on to the sleep section, I heard you say baby blues versus postnatal depression. And the reason why I want to ask more because in our community, there are many parents with young kids and probably with newborn as well. And I think that it's very important to help us to differentiate when do we experience something that is called baby blue versus when do we know that we are suffering from postnatal depression.
Well, I'm not a doctor, so
Okay, I want to hear from you also.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think baby blues is a bit milder version, which you can, once you can snap out a bit lah. But I think postnatal depression is more serious. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I think, or what I know. Okay.
Sure, sure.
And yeah, so postnatal depression, it can go on for months or years. Okay, if you don't actually do something about it, so you need to seek professional help if you're really going through postnatal depression. But I think baby blues, which is more common among first-time mom, because suddenly you're carrying your baby for 9 months. So a lot of things that when the baby comes along, you're like carrying your bundle of joy, is so exciting, everything, right? But then when everything start to take place and you realize that your this bundle of joy is relying on you 24/7, it's like you suddenly lose sense of your previous identity, and then now you are a mom. Okay, so it's just a life-changing transformation. Your life is not never going to be the same again, right? Once you
Mm-hmm.
become a mother. And so when I say what I've gone through baby blues, I think it's because like I said, all my whole world turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And my life was very chaotic. There's no routine, no schedule, and all this thing. And then when babies cry, I just have to feed them, and then it's like constant. One
Mm-hmm.
one baby after another, and then at one stage, I was even carrying both of them to breastfeed them. you know so yeah, and then after I breastfeed them already, then I have to pump. So it was like that was my life. And it's like suddenly, who am I? I'm just this mother who is constantly feeding and pumping. Yeah, so that's why it can be a shock to your system.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not prepared for it, because I don't think reading books is enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think reading books can prepare you for motherhood. Yeah. So
Great.
you need a lot of support, husband support, like
Mm-hmm.
yourself, a good daddy who is very supportive of the whole experience. So that's why, I want to share this because I think it's very important for first time mothers, especially if you guys are not getting enough sleep and all those things. I would say my number one advice to you is to seek help to make sure that your baby gets on a routine, sleeping well, and once they are sleeping through the night, then
Mm-hmm.
I think you will have your good night sleep as well. Then you can really function like a human being again. That's why I always tell my followers or my parents, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, once you get the sleep sorted, you can really feel like a person again. You can get back your sanity, get back your me time. And yeah, because babies actually need a lot of sleep. It's not like you're trying to force them to sleep, but they actually biologically they need a lot of sleep to grow. And because growth hormones are released when they're sleeping, so
Mm-hmm.
that's why we need to actually make sure we foster healthy sleep habits for them.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. Yes, I also want to ask you about your sleep training because I think the misconception for quality sleep is not to train ourselves how to sleep. And what I learned through watching television is to get a good mattress, to get a good pillow, to get a good bolster. Yeah. So tell us more about the sleep training. It's something very
Are
new
you
to
talking
me.
about adult or you talking about baby?
All right. So I think in our Facebook group, most of us are parents with primary school children, and I think we are all shouting for help in our hearts. Let's talk about parents, adults.
Adults, huh? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so for adults, really, we need to start prioritizing our sleep. If especially if you're telling me you haven't been sleeping well,
Mhm.
okay. Prioritizing our sleep means you got to make sure that you prepare yourself for bedtime. You cannot just say that you're gonna work late and then after that you shut off everything and then try to go and lie down. You need to wind yourself down for bedtime as well. Okay,
Mhm.
and it's like signaling to your brain that okay, it's time to sleep. Okay, our brain needs to be signaled because if you are constantly exposing yourself to screen time, which is actually there's a lot of blue light exposure when you are working on your laptop or using your phone, and this blue light is it's like a bit like the sunlight, okay, and it enters through your eyes, your retina, and then it signals to your brain that it's still daytime. Okay, so when the brain thinks that it's still daytime, then they won't produce this sleep hormone called melatonin, and we need melatonin to fall asleep and stay asleep. Okay, if you don't have melatonin, you will have a lot of cortisol. Okay, cortisol is the stress hormone that keeps you alert and awake. Okay, so if you have been undergoing tremendous amount of stress, okay, then your cortisol level is through the roof. Okay, and we need to bring that cortisol level back down to its normal level so that you can fall asleep and stay asleep and yeah, sleeping like a baby lah. Yeah.
And I heard that you say that you have 5 steps. Could you share with us like some of the specific steps to sleep? Because I think that for most of us, it's like okay, step one, you walk into a bedroom, you on the lights to find where your bed is. Step two, you off the light so you can lie down and maybe you hide your pillow.
No, 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 it's not like
So I got two steps proven process to find the bed.
no, no, no. So my five-step system, which I usually share with my clients, is that the first step is you gotta understand the science of sleep. So just now I share with you a bit of the science already. The two hormones that regulate our sleep, which is melatonin and cortisol. Okay. So when you understand the science, then you will know what's going on with your sleep, right?
Yep.
Then the second thing is to prepare the ideal sleep environment for yourself or for your little one. So
Mhm.
the ideal sleep environment is like you gotta make sure that you turn this sleeping place as your sanctuary, your sleeping sanctuary. Okay, so your bed, like when you lie down on your bed, you shouldn't be using your phone. You shouldn't be, watching TV because then you're signaling to your brain that your bed is a place for you to, still have fun and entertain yourself. All this thing. So a better way is to make sure that that you don't bring your phone or your any device to your bed, okay, so that you know that when you lie down it's time to sleep. Okay, and then also gotta make sure that the room is dark, because darkness help produce melatonin. Okay, and then number three is to prepare the ideal schedule for your even for yourself lah, that is actually you should go to bed early. Okay, because early bedtime is better for actually all of us because what I know, I can share with you $1 million tip for you. Why I
Yes.
call it $1 million is because you can save a lot of money on skincare products to make yourself look younger. Also, okay, maybe for the mummies out there, okay, because between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., that's
Mhm.
when the human growth hormones are released at its optimal level. Okay, so
Mhm.
if you're already in your deep sleep by then, right? So that's when all this human growth hormones are released, and it will help to repair your cell, restore everything. So making you looking younger and younger, lor, right? So yeah, no amount of skincare will help if you still look like a night owl and sleeping very late because you're not getting that optimal level of growth hormones. Yeah. and what the fourth step is coming up with a sleep plan, okay? And then finally, teaching yourself how to self-settle. Actually, basically, I believe that all kids should be able to learn how to self-settle, okay,
Mhm.
so that they can fall asleep independently without anyone's help. Just like we all, when we sleep, no one is like patting us, no one is singing to us to sleep. Yeah. So whatever this five step can also be applied to, yeah, adult and child.
When you talk about the sleeping environments, what is considered as a conducive one?
So actually, ideally, your bedroom should be only a place for you to sleep. Okay. It shouldn't be a place for you to work. But of course, I know space is an issue, so I actually work in my bedroom too. Okay.
Mhm.
But what I do is because you need to make sure that I don't actually bring my phone. I don't put it next to my bedside. So my bedside only has books. I don't have my
Mhm.
phone charging next to it. Okay. And I also actually use the eye mask to make sure that no light gets into my eyes. Okay, so because sometimes the street light still comes in, so I can it's still not dark enough. So once you use the eye mask, it really makes it completely dark, and it's much easier for you to fall asleep because of the rush of melatonin. And also make sure that you don't use a gadget at least 1 hour if you can before bedtime. Okay, because you want to start to help release the melatonin. And if you really still have to work, right, you can use this blue light blocking glasses
Oh, okay.
to block blue light. You can see. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it really reduce the blue light going into your eyes, and then so that will help as well.
Can I ask where did you get the spectacle?
Or just from any optometrist, you just tell them that you want a blue light blocking glasses. Yeah.
And these are the ones without degree.
Yeah, without I actually don't wear glasses. Yeah.
Ah, wow, perfect eyesight.
Yeah. And also another thing is, if you don't have these glasses, you can install this app called f.lux. So I actually have it on my laptop, so as
Mm-hmm.
the night goes by, it become more orangey.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really trying to block out the blue light.
I think it starts with like flux, right?
It's f.lux.
F F dot
Lux.
UX. Okay, later we can share with the parents. Okay, what about for kids? Because and I think that in today's world, probably the parents are bringing the phone next to them and checking some last minute emails, and the kids probably are they own their own mobile devices as well. And I think whatever you share, it could be one of the more challenging problems at home as well. So how do you get parents to start off to work towards these better sleeping habits?
Well, I think with older kids, you really got to set the boundaries. So tell, like for my kids, I tell them, hey, by 8 p.m., you need to hand in all your devices. But sometimes, of course, they still have homework to do. So
Mm-hmm.
no choice, right? Then they will have to. But I will always try to restrict, especially if they're playing games. I don't really like it if they play games at night because a lot of stimulation going on. So if
Mm-hmm.
they're doing work, I still think it's okay because no choice, right? They have to hand in their homework. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, try to make sure that they go to bed early. With my teenagers, they are 14 years old. I still try to make sure that they go to bed by 9:30, 10, the latest.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And I like the fact that you say handing their devices. And I think I can also at the same time hear some of the objections from parents that say it's not going to work. Yeah, because they won't listen to me. So how can the parents start to do that at home? Because I think it's not just about sleep. It's also setting the boundaries. And I think you've done a very good job in setting out the family routine at home and also having clear boundaries when it comes to using phones.
Mm. Well, to be honest with you, I'm also learning. Yeah, parenting teenagers is something that is very new to me, and challenging as well because nowadays with modern day society, we have to deal with their addiction to their gadgets and all that. And actually, I think a couple of weeks ago, I attended a webinar on how to handle teenage addiction to games and all this thing, because I think I'm not an expert in this as well, so I'm also learning. And basically what I got out from the webinar is that you can't really put a restriction sometimes, but you gotta tell them to use it responsibly. Maybe one of the gamers, she actually now share about how to help teenagers lah with their addiction. And she's a gamer. She plays like a few hundred games, in her life. And it's
Wow.
20 something only. Yeah, and I think she also won awards or something for gaming. And so she shared that her parents said that, what ultimately work is that she gotta make sure that she work hard first, as in she does her work, everything done, then she can play as much as she want. But before that, she can't touch any games or any devices until she has done her work. Then she say that kind of work for her lah. Because if you put a restriction for her, she said it didn't work lah. She still want to keep playing. But then until she realized that okay, she must get her work done, then only she can play. Then I think that works very well for her. So I think it's a trial and error lah, right? You have to see how to make sure that your teenagers or your children would agree to this law. So if your target parents are, much younger, I mean with younger children, so I think start them young with this boundary, so that they understand that this is how it should be. Because from my teenagers, they only got their own phone when they went into secondary school. Okay, that's when my challenges started. When they were in primary school, they don't have their phone, then I think it was still easy to control their gadget usage. But once they have their own phone, yeah, it became more challenging.
Could you also share some of the challenges that you face when parenting teenager? Because I think this will help many parents in our group. And the reason why I ask is also because some of them may have children from primary school, but also teenagers as well, and also like yourself. I know that you have 4 children, two 14 years old, one 9 years old, and one 4 years old.
Yeah, coming to 4.
Coming to 4. Yeah. So with such a wide age gap, so what are your ways to stay sane, to sleep well, and then to parents all 4 of them?
And honestly, it's still a constant learning process for me, learning journey. So I'm not saying that I'm an expert in this.
Yes, yes. Probably can share with us what works for you.
Maybe I share with you what's my struggle first. My struggle is really addiction to their gadgets, my twins,
Okay.
because like I said, once they have their phone or in fact, one of my son, he goes to a school where he needs to use the computer all the time, the MacBook.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes he's very good at swiping left and right. You walk past and then he's like swipe left, swipe right. So, and it's very hard to know whether is he doing work or is he playing games. Yeah. So I recently I came up with because I realized how much the addiction was really taking a toll on them. Okay, so I came up with a 30-day challenge for them. I guess what we learned about challenge, right? They like the challenge. So I came up with a 30-day challenge where they are not supposed to play any games whatsoever, because I want to know whether they are able to control their addiction.
Mm-hmm.
So to be honest, the first few days they started to bargain, started to negotiate. Yeah, but after that, it became easier. Okay. And the challenge was that, if they manage to fulfill the 30-day challenge, then they get a reward lah. They want a steak dinner. So after 30 days, they get a nice steak for their dinner. And then now after the 30-day challenge is over, at least I know that they are able to control, their addiction to the game. But now I say that you can play because, but I want them to play only like during weekends after they have done their work. Okay, not like a everyday, but they did tell me that when they couldn't play, right, they feel like they're not connecting with their friends because their friends all play. So yeah, so it's really a tough one for us, right? We also don't want them to be feeling left out or things like that. So I say, okay, then you can go back to playing with them, with your friends, but um when at home you try, yeah, don't play, just do your work first, and then yeah, come weekend I can give you some time to play. Yeah. So I said your biggest priority right now is to make sure that you are a good student, you know, and then yeah, I don't mind you having fun and all that, but yeah, you gotta know how to manage your time properly. Mm. I always share
Great.
with them the quadrants, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the 7 habits of highly effective people. You know
Mm-hmm.
how uh, there's very urgent, very important, and then very urgent, not important, non-urgent, very important, and then non-urgent, not important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
say a lot of times we spend a lot of times in the non-urgent, non-important, right? Because like watching Netflix, playing games, all these are non-urgent, non-important, right? But we have to focus on what is the urgent and important stuff. We get those done, and even the very important non-urgent, you also need to focus on them. You know, so I share with them this kind of how I try to prioritize my tasks because I constantly have a lot of things to do as a mompreneur. So I
Mm-hmm.
just share with them. I also share with them how to learn about stock trading.
Mm-hmm.
Not to ask them to do stocks, but I'm asking them to learn about um, investment. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I rather that they get more interested in things like that rather than always constantly playing game. So yeah, find out what is your child's passion or what is their because I ask them to learn about investment, then they ask me about it more as well, and it becomes like a topic that we can talk about. So yeah, I just always trying to throw in new things to see if there's something exciting for them. And every time during dinner time, we sit together as a family for dinner, and we will always talk about like my business, what's going on, my client, and my husband will share about his patient, so they know about the family business a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's some of the things okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you share all this because I think for parents who are watching this right now, I just want to help them to break it down. Why Zoe shares what she's saying and why is it so important. And from my own experience, after I heard from mummies, sometimes when they know that their kids are not getting enough sleep, and we know that after probing, they are playing with their own mobile phones under the blanket. Yeah, and what Zoe was sharing here is that some parents may just snatch it away and say, see, or just blame the child, see, and she doesn't listen to me. Yeah, then the kid just storm off. But I think what difference you have made here is you educate your kid, you connect them with other interesting topics as well, and then also you connect with them, like you share with them what happens in your day, and then in a sense it also helps to build a relationship and get them to bond with you also. Yeah, so I think that really works well for you because it is much more effective than just snatching the phone away from a kid and say, this is it, I'm going to just ban you from using the phone and ground you. Yeah. So I think because this topic is about sleep, so I think before I get distracted and talk about other things, which is I think is very important as well. Yeah, probably can share with us because I think I saw some research done that the baby needs X number of sleep, then the children as well and adults as well. And could you share with us more on the sleep, the hours of sleep that each of us needs at different life age? Oh, you
Okay.
have your table there, is it?
uh,
Yes, please show it to us because I think it's very important because there are times that some adults say that hey, I'm very I have low energy, and yes, you know that she doesn't have enough sleep. Yes, back to you, Zoe.
Yep. So you can see, newborn need 15 to 18 hours, infant 3 to 6 months 14 to 16 hours, baby
Okay,
14 hours, toddler 13 to 14, preschooler 12 to 13, and
okay.
then anything above, like teenagers, they need about 10 hours. Adults need 7 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Primary school about 10 to 11, yeah, or 9
10, 10 to 11 hours, which means that if they wake up
You
at
can
6,
find all this in the National Sleep Foundation website. So this is where I got the, yeah. Okay. So I only do it until 5 years old because my target audience is parents from 0 to 5.
talking about the primary school going kids, and you mentioned that they need to sleep for 10 to 11 hours. So if they are going to school at 6 plus, wake up at 5 plus, so what time should they sleep?
So you work backwards. They should be sleeping about 8, 8:30, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Wow, that's really early.
I know. So I have a 9-year-old. I try to get him to go to bed by 8:30 or latest 9. And yeah, he does wake up quite early too. He This child of mine, he's very excited to go to school early for some reason.
Isn't it good?
I don't know. I don't know if it's good, but he needs his sleep lah. And then sometimes if we have like movie night, then he will be sleeping quite late at 10, and then he'll wake up even earlier. Actually, what happens is that when you when they go to bed later, right, they are even more overtired. So they actually will wake up earlier because the cortisol will start peaking too early. It may not necessarily means that they will sleep in. Yeah.
Sounds like there's a lot of science to it, to sleeping. Yes. Okay, I think while we may share that parents should let their children sleep early, but at the same time, I think because I've worked so closely with so many parents, I can hear them saying the objections that hey, there's so much homework, and I think you're a mommy as well with 4 kids, and probably can relate to my scenario, which is there's much work, and the teacher just gave like a full practice paper today and expect the child to hand in tomorrow. Or my child is very slow, so by the time she packs her bag, she finishes her work, and then well, it's already like 11 o'clock.
Wow.
And honestly, it happens to my middle child as well, yeah, because she needs more time to process. Yeah, so I think I really need your help in a sense. Like, could you share with us what can we parents do while we are highly self-aware, but at the same time because our children are stuck in the system and they still have to fulfill because I think they are more scared of the teachers than scared of me. Yeah.
I guess it really boils down to time management, all right. They have to get the work done in the daytime, and
Mm-hmm.
because actually, if you keep them awake so late, right, their brain is not really absorbing or processing very well already. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they are very sleepy and tired, and so when they become overtired, right, their body will actually fight the fatigue by
Mm.
producing a stimulating chemical. So this stimulating chemical is like a second wind, right, that makes them even more alert and awake. So when you actually want them to go to sleep, right, they might not be able to fall asleep so easily. Yeah, because they suddenly perk up. Just like when we wanted to burn the midnight oil, at first we were very sleepy. Then suddenly our body just perk up because of this second wind. And then when you try to go to sleep, you will toss and turn for a long time on because you already have this adrenaline rush, so called. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really have a good answer for that because I know we are all living in Singapore and we are in this system where kids, school going kids, they have to attend school so early. But because I live in New Zealand, actually the school going kids there only start school at 9. Yeah, or 9:30. So it's actually a better, to me now, I feel it's better for them because they can sleep until 7 at least, not
Mm-hmm.
waking up so early like 5 something 6 just to go to school. Yeah. So I think recently, or was it last year, there were some of the private school or some school, they were trying to
Mm.
adjust the time, right, the timing, because they know how important sleep is as well. So I hope that, yeah, maybe we can slowly, change this, by, I guess, if all parents start to prioritize sleep, then this can be something that we all can say, hey, this, we want our school going kids to actually attend school later. And yeah, it takes I guess it starts from one person saying it, and then everyone agrees, and then we can change the system. Hopefully, one day.
Yes, let's hope that it will happen next year.
Yeah, and I feel like it shouldn't take so long. It's just like in the past, we all think that we all need to go to office to work, but now you see because of COVID-19, we all can say that we can work from home. So it just takes a mindset shift. That's all.
Great, great. And I want to ask you about the power nap and how can power nap help us? Because I think I'm not sure. Because I think as I hear you, I think you are very wise and you know a lot of this about sleep. So I just want to take this chance to ask you a lot of questions that probably maybe sometimes we may have misconceptions of sleep. Yeah. And the next thing I want to ask is about power nap.
Okay.
Yeah, how does that work? And I think that sometimes in some work culture they do have such practice. And back to young children, do they need a power nap? And if they need, how long should it be? Because sometimes my child sleeps, she sleeps on, and then at
Depend
night she can't sleep.
depend how old is your child. Okay.
Primary school kids, yeah.
Primary school kids, yeah. I mean, I think primary school kids they don't need that nap if you still want to give them early bedtime. Okay, if you give them that nap, like you say, lor, you will fully recharge them, and then they cannot sleep until 11, which is quite late, lah. Yeah. So I always prioritize early bedtime. My daughter, who is almost 4, she still have one nap in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she can sleep for like 2 hours, and then I will still put her to bed about 8 something. So, if you're talking about adults, whether we
Yes.
should have a power nap, yes, it's actually recommended if you feel like after lunch your energy levels start to dip a bit, and you should have that power nap to recharge you. And do you want to know how long?
Yes, please. Yes, I want to know how long so I can test it later.
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
You cannot sleep too long. Later, you might affect your sleep pressure for nighttime. So half an hour is a good time to recharge.
Half an hour. So which means that if let's say I set my alarm clock and it rings and I still feel very sleepy, shouldn't I go back to rest again?
Shouldn't. Yeah, because it might affect your night sleep.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so for parents who are out here listening, I think for you to benefit the most and to be more productive, please insert a power nap of half an hour. Is there a specific time like for example, probably we shouldn't have power nap after 4 or 5 because it's too close to dinner time or
Yeah,
too early?
I think sometimes if it's too close to nighttime, then it might also affect your bedtime. So maybe not too close to dinner, lah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you feel there's a dip of energy already, or you're like yawning a bit, then you should go and sleep. Like because it's trying to tell you that you need that boost of energy, by taking a power nap. So listen to what your body is telling you. Yeah.
Mm. All right. And just how you mentioned that you do coach adults to sleep. Tell us more about it because I think that uh, uh this is a very rare training, and many of us thinks that when we do not sleep well, what we need is to try to have more time to sleep. Yeah, so probably we may not think of we need a trainer to coach us how to sleep well.
I think
So how does it work?
what happens is most of the time when adults suffer from insomnia,
Mm-hmm.
sleepless nights for months or years, they will just probably go to see a doctor because
Mm-hmm.
the doctors can prescribe sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the difference between a doctor and what I do as an adult sleep expert is that we give you this holistic approach where we don't prescribe because we cannot prescribe sleeping pills. And sleeping pills, there's side effects to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And holistic approach that we recommend is that we look at your body and your mind. Okay. Body is like basically we will go through lab tests with you. We will run through 5 lab tests with you. So the first one is to look at your hormones. Okay, look at your gut health. Okay, and we'll look at also your thyroid. We look at your the hair mineral. Okay, and they also look at your food sensitivities. So we will do these 5 lab tests to from the comfort of your own home, because we'll send the lab test to you, and then you just have to provide the sample and then send it back to the lab. And then after, once we get the results, we will know what's going on with your body. And because okay, the reason why we need to do that is because we want to know why are you not sleeping well. Maybe it's something to do with the fact that you're having hormonal imbalance. Okay, food sensitivity is not food allergy, but it's more like maybe uh okay, there was this client who
Mm-hmm.
eats very healthily. Okay, he eats broccoli, and you thought that broccoli is good, right? But upon finding out from the lab test, it found out that the broccoli was actually triggering him to produce more cortisol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cortisol is, like I said just now, is bad for sleep, ma. So
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah, you need to find out what's going on with your body to see what is triggering your cortisol level to be in balance, oh, okay? And then also we need to, that's body, right? So we need to look at the mind, because everyone copes with stress differently. So we need to know how to help you manage your stress so that you don't trigger so much cortisol. Because when you're stressed, your body will create more cortisol. And
Mm.
cortisol is the number one disruptor to sleep. Does that make sense?
And you're saying there are 5 lab tests, so I want to see whether I can remember. One of them will be is it your hair?
Yeah, hair.
Hair. So you just need
Because
to,
we look at the minerals like the calcium, magnesium, all this. Yeah,
I see, and you just need to plug one hair out and
yeah.
insert into the test tube. And the next thing is
Food sensitivity,
food sensitivity. So what do we have to do?
saliva,
Saliva, just put inside. Okay, that's it. What else?
thyroid.
Thyroid. So how will the test be like?
Thyroid is your blood.
Blood. So how, I mean, you're saying that this test will be sent to us and we have to do by ourselves. So how does it work for the blood?
Yeah, so they will be given all the instructions.
Oh, sure, 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 sure. I just want
Very
to have
detailed.
a mental picture.
Yeah, it's very detailed instructions. So you have to, for women, you have to go by your cycle.
Sure.
Yeah, so for men, it's okay lah. So you just have to prick, and then after that, test lor.
So it's a pricking
Yeah.
self pricking kit.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And after that, so probably you can share with us more about your experiences working with adults and even with kids. Yeah, you can have a mix because I think they're all interrelated. Yeah, so probably you can share with us like some of the cases that you have and then challenges that you face or they face, and then some of the work done that you control with them.
Okay. Maybe I'll
Mm.
talk about child sleep. Okay, like basically clients who come to me with older kids, right, like 3-year-old or 5-year-old, they
Mm-hmm.
will tell me that the most common scenario that they are having is that their child is waking up at night,
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the night, and then they'll go to their bedroom and then they want to sleep with the parents, or the child will take a long time to fall asleep because the parent will actually have to stay in the room with the child until the child fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are the common scenarios that a lot of parents with older kids tell me lah. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason for that is because if your child fall asleep with your presence, when they wake up in the middle of the night and they see that you are no longer there,
Mm-hmm.
are they gonna be scared?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's why they will wake up in the middle of the night looking for you. So if you want them to fall asleep all throughout the night, I mean, as in sleep through the night without that middle of the night waking, well, I mean, they will have the middle of the night waking because we all go through sleep cycles. But if you want them to be able to just self-soothe themselves back to sleep, okay, you gotta be consistent. No? You gotta make sure that when when they are falling asleep at night, they are doing it without your presence.
Mm.
So I just gave away my secret.
Which is I didn't catch that. Probably I
The
didn't catch it.
secret, the secret is basically to make sure that your child fall asleep without you guys in the room, without the parents in the room.
Uh,
So you need to
but
teach them how to do that. Yeah.
yes, and I guess that I think for parents like myself, because I have 3 kids, 3 girls. So I think to be affected by this is different from knowing a tip and trying to self-administer it. Yeah, so I think that is why we need experts like yourself to come in to intervene to help us to regain our sanity. Yes, what about because I also heard from friends that let's say for babies who can't who are sorry, they are trying to train their baby to sleep by themselves. So they let them cry and scream and shout until they doze off. Is this a correct way of training them based on your experience?
Okay, so what I want to say about that is that if you have not started to foster healthy sleep habits for them from young, okay, if you're doing this when they are much older, so they have been trained to fall asleep with a certain way, a certain sleep prop, okay, so say you've always been rocking them or you've been always petting them. So when you want to change something, right, they are not going to be happy, right?
Hmm.
Just like if I ask you, hey, John, where do you normally sleep? On your bed, right?
Yeah.
And then if I say, John, can you just sleep on the floor tonight?
No, cannot.
But you
Cannot.
can tell me no, cannot, right? You can tell me you don't like, right?
Ah.
Yeah, but for a lot of young children, they cannot verbalize that, right? If they cannot talk, they will cry, lor, right? They will tell you
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to be happy with this new change. But of course, there are ways where you can, be there to support them, encourage them, and you have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's not just about letting your child cry it out and then that's it. If it's as simple as that, right, then I won't have a job, right?
Mm-mm. Yes.
Yeah, so it's not just about that. It's also about making sure you have the right schedule, the right environment, the right sleep plan, and then you put together everything, then you will be able to get your child to be a very good independent sleeper.
Mm. Great, great. All right. Thanks for sharing. I think I have many questions to ask you because I'm want to learn from you because sleep itself is a big, not sleeping well is a very big pain point for me. Yeah. Okay. So the last
Sign
part I
up
want to sorry again. Hmm?
can sign up for my coaching program as well.
So you can help me. You can help me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask one last question, and I want to dive into the science of sleep because I think that is probably your area of expertise as well. Yeah, because I think the misconception for adults is if you sleep from 9 to 6, is assuming that you have a good sleep. But I think looking at some research, the sleep cycle itself has different parts. Could you help us to know more about it? Because I think there's something like REM sleep or deep sleep or don't know what lah. Yeah. So can you share with us like which part of the sleep is actually more important in the sleep cycle?
Well, it's not about which part of the sleep more important, but REM
Mm,
and non-REM sleep are both equally important.
okay.
Okay,
What's
so
the purpose of REM and non-REM?
Okay, so REM sleep is rapid eye movement sleep, and it's also considered brain sleep. Just remember brain sleep. Okay, so
Brain sleep.
why is it called brain sleep? Is because that's when your brain is working to consolidate your memories. It, how to say, take away all the things that is not important. Like
Mm-hmm.
today, you saw the stop sign somewhere. You don't need to remember where the stop sign is. So yeah, just get rid of that memory. Is not important, and then consolidate the memory that is more important. Okay, so when we are sleeping, our brain is actually working. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
so we need REM sleep for that long because it helps with our problem solving skills, everything. All right. So, and REM sleep is also when we actually dream as well. So sometimes when we dream, it might be related to something that you have been thinking about, right? So when we dream about it, it's something to could be related to what you've been thinking all day long or things like that lah. Something related, or sometimes it can be just some random dream, right?
Mm.
Okay. Then non-REM sleep, which is also the deep sleep, or is also called a physical sleep. Okay, why I call it physical sleep is because when you are in deep sleep, that's when the human growth hormones are being released. It will help to repair your cell, restore them, and also send all the blood to your muscles. Yeah, actually, when you exercise, um, you are actually when you're sleeping, that's when your muscle is being formed. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I say you cannot say which one is more important because both are
Mm.
equally important, right? So that's why for our kids, right? Because you know they are growing so fast, right? You want them to be taller, smarter, all this thing. You know, you need to make sure that they get enough sleep so that they have all these hormones to help with their growth, for with their development, and especially for your audience case, you want them to learn all this mathematics and everything. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they have good sleep so that they can remember what they've learned during the daytime. Okay.
Hmm.
If without sleep, you can tell them so much and they probably won't remember everything. Yeah.
Sounds like all parts of the sleep is important. It's not that it's whether REM sleep is important or deep sleep. Wonderful. Yeah, I think after this chat with you, I think I can sleep better.
Let me know.
All right. Okay. I think we have come to almost the end of the session, and I just want to get parents to know more about your work because I think it's very important as well. And I know and recently I know of a good news that one of our parents is going to be a parent again. Yeah, with the next child coming. Yeah. So she's asking uh what she can do about it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So
So can
I,
I show them your website?
oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so this disclaimer here, I do not get anything out of it. I just want to show the good work that Zoe is doing. Yeah, so if you want to contact her, you can go to her website, SG Super Nanny. Yes, can you help us to just go through maybe one or two important pages of your website, which will benefit the parents and also a way to contact you if they want to.
Okay, so you see this pop up, top five biggest mistakes most parents make
Mm-hmm.
about their child's sleep. So that's a free guide that you can download for free, basically.
Okay.
And then yeah, basically you can learn about mistakes that a lot of parents are making. So just learn about it and avoid doing them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just put your name and email, then submit. And then if you want to also connect with me and find out how I can help you, you can go to the contact section and then book a free discovery call with me.
Is it
Okay.
here?
It's a
Okay.
20 minutes free discovery call. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule your free discovery call there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or if you don't want to book a call, then you can just send me a message here on the complete the form here. Yeah, and we can chat about more about what's going on with your child sleep or even your sleep. Okay. And yeah, I'm actually tomorrow, if you really want to learn more about baby sleep, tomorrow I'm having a free webinar, um,
Mm-hmm.
which is at 10 a.m. on Zoom. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
sign up. The link is actually on gosleeplikeababy.com. Uh, so
Okay,
I
maybe
have,
you can send that to me later and I'll just put it inside the
okay, sure. Yeah,
post.
I'll send it to you. And yeah, you can basically I do a lot of different sleep packages are for different parents with different needs. So I can do one-to-one or I can do group coaching as well. And I also have DIY option where you can just read my book, Sleep Baby Sleep, or you can watch my online video program. Yeah, so I have various packages because I know um, not everyone can afford my one-to-one coaching, or
Mm-hmm.
or some people just prefer to read and figure it out themselves because they feel that I just want to slowly learn about this, rather
Mm-hmm.
than jump into it. But I think a lot of parents find that when they're so desperate, they are very sleep deprived themselves, right? And like I said just now, if you don't have enough REM sleep, then your memory, your brain is not quite working out, so you might not be able to process any information that you read. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why having a coach is so good, because the coach will be able to tell you step by step what needs to be done, and you just do it. You don't even have to like figure out what to do, but you having that coach is to guide you every step of the way, to make sure that you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. So that's why I feel that having that support from the coach is very crucial for your success story. Mm.
Great. Okay, and a few questions here because I just want to be clear. Does this phone number reach you or reach your team?
Or reach me actually.
So this is your phone number. Okay, then you mentioned about the book and the videos. Can you bring me to the book first? Because I love books. Yeah.
It's under Get Sleep.
Get Sleep here.
Yeah, and then it's under Sleep Baby Sleep ebook. Sleep
Sleep.
Baby Sleep book. Yeah,
Okay, so this is an ebook or hardcover book?
it's an ebook. If you want hardcover, you can get it from the bookstore. Are they open? They are, right?
They are, yes. Thank goodness. Okay, I can see them here.
Yeah. So, but if you just want instant download, just get it. Yeah, you can buy it from my website as well.
And oh, here, right? Okay, I can see that. And then what about the videos? Some parents may want videos.
Online video program.
Here is it? Okay, so where do they go from here?
Uh, Enroll now on the button at the top there.
Oh, here is it? Ah, okay, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. So they can just subscribe if they want to.
Yeah.
Okay, so parents for this you realize that it's more for young children and babies. Because for Zoe, she's a highly sought after baby sleep expert, so her schedule is really tight. Yeah, based on what you told me just now. Again, because she also work with adults as well. So if you cannot find any info here that suits your needs, you can definitely go to contact page and then just drop her a text. Then see how she can help you. Yeah. Okay. Then another thing that Zoe actually raised up just now was try to install this Flux software. Is this the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this Flux software, what it does is it will dim down your laptop brightness. Yeah, so that you can get more cortisol. Is it? Oh my God, trying to use a science word.
You don't want to get more cortisol, so that your melatonin level can still be released. Yeah, because yeah, if you actually don't have this efflux, then yeah, you will have more cortisol. But if you have this efflux, then it actually blocks out the blue light.
Okay, so parents don't listen to me. I'm telling you the wrong thing. Yeah. So listen to Zoe.
No,
You
listen
do.
to you when it comes to mathematics, but don't listen to you about sleep law, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry. Wrong. Not cortisol. If you don't have such things to pay for sleep, you have more cortisol.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. So we have come to almost the end, and I know that you shared so many things, and we actually bounce around from adults to children to baby and back again, and also talking about the relationship between all of them because we are in a family, and whatever happened to each of us affects the other. So for parents, what would be one final tip that you can share with them to get better sleep themselves?
Well, if you have been struggling with your child's sleep for a long time and you're hoping that they will outgrow those nighttime wakings, everything, well, I don't think they will outgrow it anytime soon because research has shown that 84% of babies who have sleep issues will continue to do so up to 3 years old and even older. Okay, so that's, I mean, just based on stories, I get clients coming to me when their child is 5 years old, 6 years old. So it's something that if you don't start prioritizing their sleep or fostering healthy sleep habits for them, they will not outgrow it anytime soon. And you don't want them to start with the foundation where they're getting junk sleep. You want them to get good sleep, right? Good
Mm-hmm.
quality sleep. Yeah. So my advice is to really start fostering healthy sleep habits. Okay. And of course, I will definitely recommend you to come join my Sleep Baby Sleep program because I have a very simple and effective and proven 5-step system. And so I have a lot of success stories. Yesterday, I just finished my second batch of group coaching of mummies, and all the mummies all like really so much happier, well rested. And yeah, this is the kind of transformation that I can help you guys achieve. If you have been like a zombie all this while, then it's time to revive your sleep. You need sleep not just to survive, but to thrive.
Yes, great. Thanks for sharing. And allow me to add that when moms are happy, dads are happier.
Bingo.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question because this question is actually a question that I ask all my guests, and because this is a Facebook group for parents who help their children in primary school math. Yes, so now with 2 months away from PSLE and many children are stressed out and parents are stressed out as well and not getting enough sleep. Let's say if I invite you to walk down the memory lane to the younger Zoe. Yes, probably you have heard it somewhere in the mind. It's not important. Yeah. Okay. So as you walk down to your younger self, and then you bump into the 12-year-old Zoe. And why 12? Because to Singapore kids, it's actually a big thing for us when we were very young. So you can almost see Zoe. No, you can almost touch her because she's just right in front of you, and you want to talk to her. What will you tell her?
What would I tell her?
Yes.
Say, work hard, play hard, and I feel like you don't have to be a bookworm to be successful in life. Yeah, I think values are most important. You know, go out and really explore, build relationship, and yeah, have a adventure. You know, out there is a yeah. Your name Zoe means full of life, so live up to your name.
Wonderful. Anything else? You want to tell the younger Zoe?
Anything else? Yeah, just don't take life so seriously. Just have fun and continue to make a difference in people's life. Yeah.
Great. Let me just push a bit because I think this is the first time that I ask another question on top of this question. What will younger Zoe say when you tell her that when you grow up, you are going to be a sleep expert? Yeah.
Zoe will say, "Huh? What's that?" Yeah. Because I told you the younger Zoe thought that she's gonna become a lawyer.
Okay, awesome. All right, so parents, thanks for staying with us. I hope by now you have a better picture on how to sleep well and also how to help your younger children to sleep better because sleeping is actually very important. And how should I put it? It is definitely much better than buying the cosmetic, whatever you call it. I mean, I'm a man, so I don't know much about that.
Skincare, yeah.
And you can help your husband to save money if you sleep well. Okay, Zoe, thanks for being here. I really enjoyed talking to you, as usual.
Likewise.
Yeah. Yes. Don't go out first, so I'll stop this Facebook Live and then we'll just catch up and probably just get some feedback from you, okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye, parents. Take care. Sleep well. Don't bring your phone put next to your bed. I will check tonight.